Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Sheriff Brett Zimmerman, and I'm here to brief you on additional details as we know them today about the officer-involved shooting that occurred on Monday, March 1st, 2021. This is OIS number 3 for 2021, non-fatal number 2. At the same time last year, we were at OIS number 3 and non-fatal number 3. The date, time, and type of call was March 1st, 2021 at 11:58 a.m., and it was an attempt suicide. The location of the OIS was Lamb Boulevard and Alto Avenue in a desert lot, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89115, which is in the Northeast Area Command, and you can see the scene on to the left. Our involved officer was Officer Vidal Contreras. First name is spelled Vidal, last name Contreras, Contreras. He's 30 years old and has been with the LVMPD since 2017. In this incident, Officer Contreras was armed with a staccato, and I'll spell that S-T-A-C-C-A-T-O, model P-Duo, D-U-O, 9mm handgun, equipped with an optic and a tactical light. The investigation revealed he fired 2 rounds. Officer Contreras is assigned to the Community Policing Division at the Northeast Area Command. Our suspect is a Seth Greenstone. He's a 31-year-old Native American male adult, 5'11", and weighs 235 pounds. He's pictured to my left. His weapon was a box cutter. Mr. Greenstone's charges: assault on a public officer with a deadly weapon, and resisting a public officer with a deadly weapon. The details of the OIS. On Monday, March 1st, 2021, at approximately 11:58 a.m., LVMP Dispatch Center received an anonymous call about a man who was at the corner of Cecile Avenue and Lamb Boulevard, armed with a knife and who had blood on his neck. The caller went on to say that the male was acting erratically and might be trying to hurt himself or someone else. Through our follow-up investigation, we have determined the anonymous caller was in fact Seth Greenstone calling about himself. Based on this information, the call taker categorized what we call a STAR protocol. To refresh everyone's memory in regards to our department policy, the STAR protocol stands for Supervisor Tactic for Armed Subject Response. And the following criteria must be met to meet this STAR protocol. 1, there is a credible information that there is a subject armed with a firearm or other dangerous weapon. It can't be simulated or unseen, and using it in a manner that can cause death or serious bodily injury. 2, the subject is acting in a threatening manner with the weapon. And 3, this will not include any of our open carry individuals or subjects with pocket knives when carrying the weapon is the sole justification for the call. A sergeant and several officers were dispatched to the call. While en route to the location, that sergeant and one of the officers conducted a pedestrian stop on a male matching the description of Mr. Greenstone near Lamb Boulevard and Cartier Avenue. The sergeant updated the pedestrian stop was not related. Officer Contreras drove northbound, passing those units, and continued to look for the individual. Near Lamb Boulevard and Alto Avenue, Officer Contreras spotted Mr. Greenstone walking out of a vacant lot. Officer Contreras advised dispatch of his location and reported that Mr. Greenstone was armed with a knife. Officer Contreras exited his patrol vehicle and ordered Mr. Greenstone to drop the knife. Mr. Greenstone ignored those commands and advanced towards Officer Contreras while holding the knife in his left hand. Officer Contreras fired his duty weapon at Mr. Greenstone, striking him. Mr. Greenstone fell to the ground and was taken into custody by arriving officers. Medical was immediately requested, and Mr. Greenstone was transported to UMC Trauma, where he is currently listed in stable condition. Our follow-up investigation revealed that Mr. Greenstone's place of employment is near the location of the officer-involved shooting. On that day of the OIS, Mr. Greenstone had been at work, but he left after borrowing a box cutter from one of his co-workers. At this time, I will now show you the body-worn camera footage of the OIS. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to play the I'm sorry, at this time I'll first play the 911 call, then we'll show the body-worn camera.
2021, 11:56 and 18 seconds.
911 emergency. McGarty.
All right, guys. There's a guy I seen walking down the ramp with a knife and cut on his neck.
Where are you at?
On Lamb before Cheyenne.
On Lamb and Cheyenne?
Yeah, before Cheyenne.
Okay, so where on Lamb? Is he on the northbound or the southbound side?
The northbound.
Okay, so you're northbound lanes before Cheyenne?
Yes.
So northbound north of?
Yeah, in the desert area.
What's going on?
There's a guy with a knife.
What is he
And
doing?
he got cuts on his neck. I don't know. He's acting crazy.
So he's bleeding?
Yeah.
Where's the desert area?
Right after.
Are you just past Cecile?
I think it's before Cecile.
You don't know how close it is?
No.
Okay. How long ago did you see him?
He's out there right now.
Okay, so you see him from where you are?
No, I just drove by him.
Okay, so you drove past him, what, 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think it's before Cecile?
Yeah, I think he's trying to hurt himself or somebody.
Okay, do you know if he's near Alto?
You know what? I don't even.
You don't know?
And before Cheyenne northbound.
Okay, but you think before Cecile?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so not even close to that one, Cecile.
Could you hurry up? I think he's going crazy
Is
out
he
there.
white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
I think he's just a brown guy. I couldn't tell.
Okay, so he's black or Hispanic?
No.
Is he threatening anybody?
Yeah, he's trying to. I think he's trying to harm himself.
Okay, but is he threatening anybody else or no?
I don't know. There's just blood everywhere.
Okay.
And he's screaming.
Did you see the knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
And blood on his hands.
Blood on his hands?
Yeah, and on his neck.
Okay, and here's a body-worn camera from Officer Contreras.
789, let's start medical if you haven't done so yet.
79.
Control 2, Frank, I'll be out with one. He's got a knife in his hand. Give me a rest. Hey, drop the fucking knife! Drop the knife!
Okay, this concludes the briefing. I'll now take any questions if anybody has any. Yes, ma'am.
So had he tried to commit suicide with the box cutter?
That's what it looks like to us. He did have injuries from the that look like were self-inflicted. So yes, I don't know the extent of those injuries, but he did have blood on himself, and it was caused by that box cutter.
And then do you feel that he called police to maybe have officers then shoot him? Was it an attempt suicide by cop?
That, I mean, if I had to guess, that could be, but I don't really know his mindset, but he did call on himself, obviously.
Has the officer who was involved, has he been involved in any previous police shootings?
No, this is his first OIS. Okay, thank you for coming.